Hello, everybody. Magandang hapon. Hey. Magandang hapon. That's probably two words that I can actually say in the Philippines. I'm going to have to work on my Filipinos because I really loved it. I fell in love with the Philippines and Manila last year, so much so that I had to come back. Yes, like Bud said, 3 times you've had to to see me last year, and unfortunately I haven't been this year yet, but I've had the pleasure to do several Zoom with loads of businesses like you, and it's an amazing pleasure. So it is 8 o'clock in the morning here in Jersey. Jersey is a little island between France and England, and I am French originally, and like Rafi, I'm my background is hospitality. So I grew up in a restaurant. My dad had a restaurant, so I kind of I was from the age of about 7 or 8 carrying plate in the restaurant, and I guess when you in that environment you either love it or hate it, don't you? It's one or the other, and I loved it. I loved seeing people really having fun, coming back, really enjoying what they were doing, and telling their friends and family, and that's what it was all about. So I kind of continue in hospitality. I did my catering school, and then I started traveling. So without further ado, I'm going to get into sharing my screen and then share that presentation with you and share my passion about customer experience and customer centricity, because everything that we do in business, it is for our customers, and we need to remember that really focusing our mindset and putting the customers and the employees in the middle of everything that you do will make your business to thrive. And over the years, I've worked in different countries. I worked in America, I've worked in France, I worked in England, I worked in Spain, and I've learned so much about it. And I moved to Jersey 20 years ago to run hotels. So I was hotel managers for probably about 10 years. And 10 years ago, I realized there was a gap in the market in Jersey for a mystery shopping company. So mystery shopping is actually measuring the customer service and really looking at, celebrating the success and also improving, identifying the areas, the gap where we can actually improve our service. And so it is 10 years now, 11 years actually, where I've been really kind of driven in that customer experience, employee experience, and really helping businesses to look at the areas that within their business, whether it's the culture, whether it's the environment, whether it's their people and their customers, so they can create real customer-centric mindset within their business. And so today, this is what we're going to be talking about. And did you know that 82% of customers will leave a company because of poor customer service? 68% of people will leave a company because they perceive you are indifferent to them. You are not valuing them. This is quite incredible. 68%, remember that figure. And then we go to 13%, which is poor quality of the product, and then 9% only on price. So when you think about it, you've got a massive difference. 82% of people will actually leave your company because they didn't get a great customer service. Only 9% will leave because of pricing. Huge difference. And if you actually increase your customer retention by 5%, you can see the profitability of your company improving between 50 and 75%. I mean, this is incredible. Listen, if you can keep your customers coming back, they will love you, they will recommend you, they will continue buying from you. And this is what we want. We are entering a new era. It is time to evolve into a new phase of higher consciousness where businesses become accountable for their environment, their people, and their customers. There is a real shift that needs to be changed within organization, within their culture, and how they do things. Because we have seen it. This pandemic has shown us that if we have no customers, we have no business, right? And this is not just the customers who walk through the front doors. Our customers are also the customers who walk through the back door. Our employees are customers. And actually, anyone who needs you is a customer, whether it's internal or external. And we forget this. We forget it. It is very simple to forget that internal customers are also internals. So in a very simple way, I kind of define customers into three segmentation. We've got advocates, and our advocates are people who love us. They really come to us. They really want to, they won't buy anywhere else. They just love us. We've got apathetics. Apathetics, they're coming in, they go buy here, they go and buy with you. They go and, buy online, they go and buy online. They're not bothered whether they're buying from you or not. They're not bothered. And then we've got the saboteurs. Oh yes, we've got the saboteurs. You recognize the saboteurs. They complain all the time. Do you have some saboteurs? Oh yes, I can see some hate shaking. Yes, of course everybody has. Those people are never ever happy. They will always complain about everything. But you know what they do as well? They keep coming back. Which is quite fun, really, when you think about it. They complain, but they keep coming back. So you must be doing something right. So out of the three, who do we need to love the most? Who needs our love the most? Right? The advocates, the apathetics, or the saboteurs. All of them, of course, we have to look after all of those customers, whether they love them, they love us, we need to continue that love. The apathetics, we need to switch them and really make them become advocates. And the saboteurs, we need to continue sharing, giving them what they want, when they want, and exceeding their expectations so they can become eventually, they also become advocates. Because now the customers' expectations have changed. Absolutely. We are much more demanding. You know it yourself. You go somewhere, you demand a lot. Customers want you to meet their needs. They want trust. They want empathy. They want to be listened. They want solution focused. They want to feel important. They want personalization. They want you to know their name. Really? Know my name? Yes, they want you to know what they like, what they don't like. They want you to be really interested, be flexible. Innovation, we talked about creativity, adaptability, flexibility. Those kind of words are so important. They want to be cared for, and most of all, they want to feel valued. Yes, being valued is the most important thing that anybody, whether it's you as a customer or your customers coming to you or your employees, they want to feel valued. So how do we do that? There's three types of expectations. So I've been very lucky to have worked at Disney World in Florida. Yes, I have. I've worked at Epcot Center in the French Pavilion, and I would like you to imagine being right in front of the castle. Well, we are right in front of the castle, right here, right now, without even traveling. Isn't it amazing, that digital transformation? So the first expectation, as you're walking into the park, would be your basic set expectations. So basic expectations would be your toilets. You'll have restaurants. You'll have cleanliness. You'll have safety in the park. Of course, it's Disney World. Those are really, really important values for Disney. Second expectation would be your obvious expectations. What would be an obvious expectations? What do you think? Perhaps the rides. Yes, that would be obvious. It's Disney World, right? Perhaps the queues at the ride. Yes, of course, the queues at the ride, because it's obvious. We at the Epcot Center, we would have queues. And perhaps, seeing Mickey Mouse. Of course, It is Disney World, so we will see Mickey Mouse. This is obvious. Those are the obvious expectations. And finally, your customers, any customers walking through Disney would want exceeding expectations. What would exceed your expectations if you were right in the middle of Disney World, right here, right now? Well, perhaps you would have Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse both at the same time. Wouldn't that be just amazing to have both of them at the same time and really taking a photo with them? And this would be amazing. This is where the magic comes from. Now, in your business, every day, your customers will expect basic expectations, obvious expectations, and they want you to exceed their expectations. So take a time to think, what do we do for our customers to actually exceed their expectation? Not just meet their expectation, but exceed their expectation. How can we make them feel that we love them so much, we're valuing them so much, that every time they walk through our doors, we're exceeding their expectations? And one way to do that is to connect with them on an emotional level. Oh yes, if you're connecting on an emotional level with your customers, actually, whether it's the right emotional or a bad emotion, if you're making one of your customers angry, they will remember you for the wrong reason, but they will remember you. So make your customer feel good. You know, we all want to feel good. We all want to be happy. We all want to create experiences. And if you can connect with them at that emotional level, they will love you. They will come back to you and they will buy from you. So but you've asked me why the busy queen bee. And so I started the business as, like I said, doing mystery shopping. And when I was doing the mystery shopping, it was all about my mystery shoppers going to do performing visits here, there, and everywhere, and me receiving the information and working with the information and actually being the queen. So it was a bit of a joke first, and then it became a much more part of my brand. And this is why the Busy Queen Bee started, because I felt that it was like a beehive with all my little bees going everywhere and then coming back to the hive. So everything that I do, I love the analogy of the bees because they are just amazing. I mean, they are just amazing. The way they communicate, the way their ethical conduct, their well-being, everything that they do, it's for our community, and it is to help our ecosystem and our life. Without bees, we wouldn't be here. So I use the woggle dance. So when you are in the beehive, for the bees to communicate with each other, in the middle of the hive, there's a little place where they all talk to each other. I know, right? They will do a little dance. It's like a little H shape. And the quickest they do it, and as many times they do it, they will tell the other bees where the fields are, how much food there is, where do they need to go. Incredible when you think about it. So when I look at an organization and a business, I love using that woggle dance because everything that we do is to have a virtual circle. So we start looking at the culture, then we look at the environment, then we look at the people, and then we look at your customers. And you start again. Then you go back to the culture, then the environment, the people, and the customers. So it is a virtual circle. You cannot, for employees' customer experience, you cannot stop. It is something. You can't just do one thing one day and think that your business is going to change. No, it's a continuous, development, growth to ensure that everything that you do look after your employees and your customers. So first of all, culture. And culture is very, very important. Culture is your heart and soul of your business. In a book called, written by Lee Braham, which is called The 7 Hidden Reasons Why Employee Leaves, it reveals that 89% of bosses believe that employee quits their organization because they wanted more money. When actual fact, only 12% of employees leave an organization because they want more money. People will leave your organization because of their bosses, because of the culture, because they've lost faith in what the business is all about. So when you think about it, you know, we talk a lot about the millennium, don't we, lately? We talk about the millenniums are here, the millenniums are there. They want, you know, following a PwC survey, 88% of the millennium wants to work for an organization that reflects their own value. I'm not a millennium. Are you a millennium? Do we have millenniums here? Right? I'm a Gen X. And I tell you what, when I was working in a hotel, and I was, 10 years ago when I was, 20 years ago, I managed the hotels. And it came a time where you're working somewhere, and every time you try to do something, it just doesn't flow. It just doesn't go. They're just not moving. They're not, they're stopping you. And everything that you've inspired to do, it's not being done. And it doesn't take to be a millennium to actually feel that you're working for a company who doesn't inspire you any longer. So if you have got a company, look at your vision, look at your mission, look at your values. Really spend that time to creating a statement which really is going to inspire the people who are going to work with you, for you, so then they can inspire your customers, so then they can just take that and really make it feel that you're all working together for the same vision, working on the same path, and really be aligned with each other. So culture, your inspiring vision, your values, key to really changing the mindset of your businesses. And then we look at the environment. I mean, the environment is incredible how this affects people, not just the employees, but your customers. When you're walking somewhere, it could be a shop, for example, and you're walking and you just go, oh, I don't know. There's something about it that doesn't feel right. It could be, for example, a friend's house. So, you're walking in somewhere for the first time. You do not know why, but it doesn't feel right. And this is your subconscious, because everything that happens around us will affect us internally. So when you're looking at the environment and how you're creating your environment, whether it's an office space, whether it's a retail space, whether it's a restaurant, you want a place who's going to make people feel good. They will want to stay. They will perform. They will really kind of buy more from you. They'll stay longer from you because they feel good. And to do that, I'm going to give you a tip today. A lot of tips. I hope you're all taking notes. Of course, I can see lots of you writing things down. But to be able to do that and really create an environment, again, you need to connect on an emotional level. Okay, so we know there's been studies all around the world that the brain in action, the brain and how you think affect our emotions. And our emotions are in the driver's seat. If you're able to connect on an emotional level, if you're able to connect and use the 5 senses to do that, then you are going to fuel the emotions. You're going to be really having the power of persuasion, being relaxed, healing, feeling good, wanted to stay with you. So if you want to create an environment where people feel good, walk through the doors. What do you see? What can you hear? What can you touch? What can you smell? What can you hear? One of the things that we used to do when I worked in Disney World in Epcot Center is throughout the French pavilion in Epcot, as soon as the park opened, they used to have French bread through the aircon. And the smell of it was incredible. That connection with French bread, just thinking about it. Are you hungry just because I'm just said French bread? Ooh, that smell is just beautiful, isn't it? Your tongue is, you're starting saliving just because you started thinking about it. Connect with your emotions and then see how your customers are going to connect with you. Third part of it is your employee experience. And again, let's not forget, yes, we said customer-centric mindset and employee-centric. So it is internal customers and external customers. How many times, too many times, employees are being told, oh, off you go and do work here, and they're not being taught what they need to do. They're not being shown, they're not being shared, they're not being feel valued. And this is a really, really important. If you want to reduce your staff turnover, if you want to stop spending money on recruitment, start looking at your employee experience from the sourcing, the recruiting, making sure that, actually, what are the values of your employees? Are they going to align with your organization? Little simple thing like that will make a big difference with the people that you're actually employing. All the way through 7 steps to the offboarding. When your employees leave, let them leave happy, let them leave with all the tools and the information and the training you've given them, because you never know, round the corner they may just come back, because the green isn't always greener. So look after them, and they really look after you. And I love this quote from Richard Branson. He says, train people well enough so they can leave, treat them well enough so they don't want to. And this is the key to any businesses. Train your staff, develop and progress. Make them feel that you want them to be here. Stop spending money in advertising if you haven't trained your staff. Please stop all your advertising. Train your staff first. Then you will see, you probably will have to cut your budget, because your trained staff will be actually able to sell to your customers. They'll be doing the promotion. Your customers, which will love you, will do the promotion for you, and you will see a lot of savings there. And I think part of the training, so Buzz asked me to add a little bit of that about this. I am launching this week an amazing NLP certified NLP practitioner certification. And NLP, it's neuro linguistic programming, and I've discovered NLP about 3 years ago, and this is so powerful to teach your employees some NLP techniques, because NLP is going to bring so much more to your employees. They're going to be able to build rapport with your customers, creating relationship in a very quick ways. So I thought I'd just put a couple of ideas of what NLP could be doing. Actually, for an employee, being able to look at the whole picture and actually seeing what's happening, it's called calibrating. When you're looking at your customers and you can calibrate the way he's feeling, the way he's thinking, his behavior, looking at his physiology, the tonality of the words that he's using, you will be able to connect with that customer in a much quicker way, because you'll be able to adapt yourself and mirror their communication styles. And mirroring, again, another very, very powerful NLP technique. So if you have a customer who's very, very fast and speak very, very fast, and your employee is like, yeah, I'm not sure if we can do this for you. No, I can't go there. Your customers is going to be going, oh, this is not possible. Go quicker, go quicker. So teach your employees to mirror your customers, their sound of voice, the words that they're using. This is really powerful. Their body language. Use those mirroring techniques so they can really connect at an emotional level. And the eyes, again, we all know we can say a lot of things with our eyes, okay? Without talking, with just looking at somebody, you could say whether they're happy or whether they're sad. You could also see whether they're lying, they're making up stories, or whether they're feeling really bad. So there's cues called IQs, which you can teach your employees so they can really kind of connect with their customers, understand where they are, and be able to give them that great service. Another technique, which is called match lead and pace. And this is a really amazing technique when you are handling complaints and you're handling your customers which are not happy. So in handling complaint, you can use that technique, and so you're matching your customers at the level that they are. Then you can start pacing and bringing them down to another level, and then you can start leading the conversation. So really, really powerful for your employees to learn those techniques during complaint handling training, during your conflict resolution training. This is really, really good. And so the fourth part of my Woggle dance is our customers, of course. But if we have the three first, the culture, the environment, and the employee experience right, the customer experience is going to be amazing anyway. So just a quick difference between the customer journey. I'm sure some of you have heard about customer journey, and some of you have heard about customer experience. So there was an American doctor who created an amazing MRI scan. He was very proud of his scan. He's been working on it for about 3 years, and he's just been, it's time to plug it in and get the first customer through the door. Unfortunately, the first customer was a little girl, and that little girl just didn't want to go. She was very scared. She started crying. Her mum and dad were dragging her. She just didn't want to be here. And so the doctor said, well, what's happening? What are we going to do? Well, the nurses had to sedate that poor little girl. And he says, well, this is wrong. This is all I've done. It was to create an amazing MRI scan so we could really kind of give great service. And now we have to sedate. Yes, about 80% of children had to be sedated because they were scared. So he goes off at night, go back home and think to his wife, oh, all that work for nothing. We have to sedate all the children. They're just really scared. What am I going to do? And his wife said, stop moaning about it. Get on and create an experience. So he'd gone to sleep at night, woke up in the morning with that amazing idea. He went off to the shop, bought some amazing plastic that he could stick around, and created a pirate ship. No longer was that MRI scan an MRI scan. It was a pirate ship. And he took all the children into a journey. He got the nurses to dress up. He got a little box where the children could actually dress up and put their little iPads and have their little sword with them. Then they were telling them the story that they had to lie down very, very silently onto the base because all the pirate ship were going to come and see them. They were light, maybe that was going to move, but really don't be scared because the other pirates are coming, and it's the water who's actually making the pirate ship move. From that day onwards, sedation went down to up to 15%. It was incredible how they reduced by creating an experience. So look at your business. What are the steps? What is the journey that your customers have to do? From the minute that they're walking in or they're looking at your website, those steps is your roadmap, is your journey mapping. Creating an experience, it's all those touch points that you're adding on and actually are able to connect with your customers on what? On an emotional level. Oh yes, I'm coming back to that. So I want you to really show your customers that you care. I want you as an organization that you really show that you care. You care for your employees, you care for your customers, and you're really showing them that. And to do that, I've got 4 things that I want you to do. I want you to be very congruent. Congruence, it's being in flow. But congruence is walk the walk and actually do what you say you're going to do. It's being there. It's being present. It's being able to really share with people and be with people and really be the person and the organization that your mission is showing, and you following that vision and that mission. Number 2, accountability. Yes, as an organization, as a leader, as a business leader, as a CEO, as a normal employee, you want to be accountable. You want to take responsibility. You want to be able to say, yes, I'm going to do this. And you know that you're going to do it. And everybody will know you're doing it because you are becoming that person. People will look up at you and they know that they can trust you. And trust is a magic word. If you can be accountable, they will trust you. Third, care is the R, resilience. Is that word not being an incredible word during this pandemic? Resilience. We need to come back. We need to bounce back. We need to move again. And I think resilience is like this little elastic band. You know, when you pull the elastic and then it just bounces back. You pull it and it bounces back. But actually, with the pandemic, it's pull so much that actually now we need to create a new way of doing things. We need to be adapting ourselves. We need to be able to think, yes, I can do it. Yes, we need to be optimistic. Sarah said, are we optimistic in Quezo City? Yes, we are optimistic. Yes, we want to be moving forward. Yes, we want to continue having businesses and giving our customers great service. And the last one is emotional intelligence. So again, this comes back to how we feel, how we are, how we behave, teaching our employees to be emotionally intelligent so they can look at their customers, they can see what's happening in there, they can help them and adapt their communication style. You can become better leaders because you can adapt. You can communicate on another level. You can realize self-aware of what your emotions are, and so you can adapt to what's happening around you. Because at the end of the day, we all want to feel valued. And what does value brings? Loyalty. Oh yes, like anything else, if your employees are loyal, you're going to save a lot of money in the recruitment. You're going to save a lot of money on training. You're going to save a lot of money on sickness and paydays and all that kind of things. If your customers are loyal, you're going to increase their shopping basket. You're going to increase their loyalty. You're going to increase your brand. You're going to increase your social media awareness. All that kind of things is just what loyalty does. And so to be a thriving business, you need to look at the culture, having a real caring service culture, a customer-centric mindset culture, having some healthy environment, some engaged employees, and if you got this, well, you're going to increase performances. You're going to increase service delivery. You're going to increase your customer loyalty, your profit, and obviously you'll have a thriving business. And most of all, if you have a thriving business, the economy will start to thrive again. So there's that little guy called Bob Chapman, and he's a CEO of a company called Barry Wilmer, and he says, we measure success by the way we touch the life of people. Isn't it an amazing measurement? Isn't it so powerful to think that every measurement is all about how they make their employees and their customers a better lives? So when you're looking at your business, I always bring a bit of yin and yang because that's what I love doing. I think it's, my holistic way of doing things. Businesses are very, very yang energy, but we need to bring a bit more of that yin energy. We need to bring that bit more of care. We need to look at emotions. We need to really kind of show people, our employees and our customers, that we really care.